Journalists are the eyes and ears of a world on fire and the voice of victims in crisis. They shine a light into the darkest corners of our societies, bearing witness to wars, oppression, corruption, and disaster, and holding up mirrors that reveal the very best and worst of humanity. On this year's International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists, we focus on the safety of journalists and other media workers in crises and emergencies. Journalists who expose wrongdoing and show us the horrific reality of conflict are human rights defenders. Attacks against them affect everyone's right to freedom of expression and access to information, leaving us all less well informed. Yet, these attacks are increasing. Journalists are being killed, harassed, intimidated, imprisoned, or silenced from Gaza and Ukraine to Sudan, Myanmar, and beyond. In 2023, 71 journalists and media workers were killed and over 300 imprisoned. Women journalists are often specifically targeted for online harassment that can escalate into physical violence. Already this year, 58 journalists have lost their lives in the line of duty, very often while reporting on conflict, on climate change, or on other crises. In particular, today's devastating conflicts have made the Middle East one of the most dangerous places ever for journalists, resulting in alarming numbers of casualties among media workers. The toll is by far the highest for Palestinian journalists. They must be so much better protected. The widespread impunity that often follows attacks on journalists damages the search for facts and undermines justice. It creates a climate of fear and leads to more violence against media workers. And yet, more than 8 out of every 10 killings of journalists go unpunished. Governments must do everything to prevent attacks, to protect journalists, and to prosecute those responsible. States also need laws to protect freedom of expression and information. We live in troubled times, and effective journalism is more important than ever. A free press feeds a free society and fuels democratic decision-making. It also makes sure that we understand the human impact of violence and conflict so that this horrible tendency of dehumanization is stopped. On this International Day, I urge all those with influence to step up action to end impunity for crimes against journalists, to protect media workers, and to contribute to building open, just societies where the truth can flourish.